Yeah. Hey, Tony. How are you, man?
Good. How are you doing, Paul?
I'm good, thank you. Nice to see you again.
And we welcome all the wrestling card collectors once again. Another rousing episode today.
Yeah, another month have passed. What's new in the wrestling market card world?
Yeah,
Wrestling
that's.
card world, yeah.
I think we're going to be doing this on a monthly basis, sometime around the first of every month. I think would be a good thing to do. Kind of recap the previous month and what's going on.
Yeah, and I looked at, is there stuff to talk about? And I thought, yeah, do this, do this, do
Oh,
this, do this.
you know
Because
the hobby now.
There's out there.
There's always stuff to talk about with this hobby.
Yeah, man.
What do you got first on your list of things for
You
this?
know what? The last couple of times we got together, we sort of started each segment with the WCW autographs. A couple times ago, we did our segment called the Elusive Eight.
Yeah.
And you throw that one away now.
Yeah, I can throw it away now. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because now we know that it's in fact the Notorious Nine or the non-inserted nine or whatever we're calling the extra one. But just to go back, just to bring viewers sort of up to date on where we were. We had a Booker T autograph that came up for sale. It was one that hadn't been seen in many years. It traded for just over $5,000 US. Shortly thereafter, a new version of a Booker T came out that we got a picture of him signing. That came online and didn't end up selling, and then it kind of disappeared, and we never heard where that card landed. And we thought that was the end of the discussion. But no.
No, this is the set that keeps on giving.
Mike Enos, one of the Beverly brothers. Did not return his cards to Topps, and fortunately we were able to get a picture of it, and we were able in short order to verify that here's another one. So it's number 5 of the really effing 5 hard ones to find.
Yeah.
And it went on eBay and it sold for just $1,800. As you know, I tried to buy it.
Yep.
It was unsuccessful. So there's another one to haunt me for the rest of the time. So there is now officially 101 inserted into packs, 4 that were a little more common but weren't inserted into packs, and now we have 5, and those 5 being Hardcore Hack, Mike Enos, the British Bulldog, Booker T, and Ric Flair.
Yep.
We also, during the last couple of weeks, saw someone posted a picture of the Hardcore Hack on Twitter. Stab it in even more to the extent.
For you, yeah.
But then we discovered that the one British Bulldog card that we know to exist is actually in the possession of Charles Wright, Little Nate, the WWE referee. So I reached out to him and I made him an offer for it, and he said no. And then I went back to him and I said, well, would you mind letting me know, is there a price that you would let that British Bulldog go for? Because we all know that unfortunately Davey isn't with us anymore, so he's not going to be able to sign anymore.
Correct.
And to my knowledge, this was another one of one, just like the Ric Flair. Here's the one I'm signing, and that's it. And possibly of the Booker. Again, we don't know, we're just speculating, but we think that the reason why they're so elusive is because there's only one of them. So I asked Charles, in our conversation, what it would take, and he said that it was suggested to him that if it was listed on eBay for about $12,500, he should reasonably expect about $8,000 to $10,000 for it. So I'm letting anybody else out there, a little too steep for me. And, 10 grand is still a lot of money in my world. Now if it was Flair, we might have a different discussion, but for the Bulldog or the Booker T, in my opinion, that's a bit high. But that said, I don't have a crystal ball, and God knows. So if there's anybody out there that really wants the British Bulldog card, it might be gettable. But at least now we have sort of the whereabouts. We know the British Bulldog. We know about the Booker. That Enos, I expect, was the only one of one, but who knows? And then, of course, there's a Flair. And every so often, I'll tweet out there, hey, if you're the lucky guy that has this Flair, let us know.
Exactly. I'd like to know who bought that, because that was years ago that sold on eBay.
Well, that's the thing. Like, even on the Mike Enos, I'm sure whatever I would have bid, and it was a fair bit. I still would have lost, because there's people out there that I have 105. To my knowledge, I've got one of the largest collections of these autographs. So it's definitely got to be a completist that's after this stuff. I don't imagine someone would want to spend really big dollars on the final 5 unless they're in a position like me where they have all the rest of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
But stay tuned, folks, because a month from now we could be talking about the Vanishing Vampiro or something else.
I meant to actually text him because I want to talk to him and find out if he has any recollection of that.
Yeah, because when Enos came up, it was within the day that we saw a picture, and it's quite easy to verify that. Yeah, here's another one.
I'm actually writing a note down right now to text him.
Right.
But I'll reach out to him.
So hopefully this concludes over a 3-video segment, our discussion of WCW autos, but stay tuned.
Nah, it's the set that keeps on giving. We'll be
And you know
talking about
what?
this thing for a while.
And we know that there's guys out there that are actively putting the set together today and having a blast doing it.
Yep.
And the prices are still holding. Just so you know, a Medusa with the Keep Slamming, $600 last week.
Nice.
You know, so they're there. I saw one for 40, which is as low as I've seen one go in quite some time. But you know, guys like Super Callow and Tough Tom and these guys that aren't as popular, they're still in the $60, $75 range. You know.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Do you remember Tough Tom?
Yeah, of course I do.
Oh, do you? I don't.
I remember that entire roster.
Yeah.
Yeah, of
Well,
course.
if you wouldn't have told me the Beverly Brothers, I might not have remembered Mike Enos.
Yeah, I only remember WCW time frame, but then I put that together and go, oh yeah, Beverly Brothers, that's right. Totally forgot about that.
So yeah, cool. WCW autographs, it's still a thing, and
I think it's going to be a thing for a long time. Actually,
officially now.
I think it's going to be quite a while.
Yeah.
Who knows? It's going to keep on going. I love it though. I love that there's always new things to be discovered with those sets.
Oh. So next on the agenda, and this is going to be a topic that's going to be huge in the wrestling card hobby, and it's no surprise. This week we found out that Impact is releasing a set.
Yep.
And by the looks of things, they're going to sell it on their own shop. So it's probably going to be something they're going to manufacture themselves.
It's going to be an in-house release, it looks like.
Correct. Now, the upcoming AEW cards, we suspect still, and it's still nothing's formally confirmed, but we expect that Upper Deck is going to be the manufacturer, and it's going to be a much more widely distributed release that's going to be done like a major product. So my question to you, sir, is I've been in this hobby for a long time, as have you. I have never, ever, in all my years of trading cards, wrestling in particular, heard or have felt such an advanced buzz for a product like I have this AEW stuff.
Nor have I.
It's unbelievable. The amount of chatter about it, how everyone, and it's not just hardcore wrestling fans, because I was curious about this. I started going on just some forums, and I was on a figure forum, and these guys were talking about the AEW trading cards. Oh, I might have to start collecting trading cards.
Yeah.
Because of this. So I you know, like, I don't think AEW surpassed WWE yet. Like, their hegemony is still in good shape, but certainly the AEW product in the last year has changed the landscape of wrestling. But it is set to not decimate, but redefine the wrestling trading card market. I think we've had a lot of tops products with WWE, but man, is there a lot of people that are hot on this set that's coming out.
But the buzz is so high. Do you feel like the buzz might be too high, or so high that whatever gets released can't live up to it?
Product-wise?
Product-wise.
I'm just wondering, like, you know, I'm just wondering what's going to happen to it price-wise. What's going to happen to guys like me that try and get a lot of it? You know, base sets, is that going to be possible? Is it going to mirror where tops base set prices and parallel prices and insert prices have gone up over the pandemic? And we don't know where we are sort of with things coming back to normal yet, but certainly there's been talk about the height having passed. But we know in wrestling cards that still those things are high, and I believe that this AEW set is going to go gangbusters. When it finally comes out, it's going to be huge, and it's not just going to be us. I think it's going to be a lot of people from outside. So my question is it because people really dig the AEW product? Are we tired of just having WWE product on cards? We do have indie stuff. We do have, you know, other things like that. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree with you. I think it's something new. It's just different. It's not WWE. It's not tops related stuff. It's not a limited indie release type thing. So that has a smaller market than your traditional trading card market. So this is a big brand. This is a big in your face every week on TV, twice a week, I think, right? Twice a week or three times a week.
We're on TV. They have a TV deal.
But it's a big deal. It's truly the number 2 company out there. And it's never had an official trading card set. So this is people getting on the ground floor on something new. And I agree with you. I think it's just, this buzz is huge. Like I've never heard or seen anything like this before in the hobby. Hell, I haven't seen anything like this in any other sport either.
No, when I was talking to Zan last week, I remember he did a little teaser. We want AEW cards, or they're coming soon. And he got like 1,000 views in a day. Now, normally on these videos, we don't get 1,000 views.
Yeah.
You know, crazy. On my site, the unofficial AEW cards, that came out a couple of years ago, they're being looked at a lot, right? And that's all just a precursor to the real thing coming out.
Yeah,
I'm sure. You know.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
We're going to be talking about this a lot, and you're going to be talking not just with me, but in all your video episodes.
Oh, I'm sure.
The topic of AEW cards is going to be the talk of the year. I suspect it'll be the biggest set insofar as reception and just we eating it
Oh, I
in
expect it to be a complete
some
sellout.
years.
I expect it to be a total sellout.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%.
And we're all going to be clamoring the day it comes out. We're all going to be trying to figure out where we're getting it from and how. And then when stuff starts going on in the secondary market, like I'm just thinking, trying to price it. You asked me earlier, you price Slam Attacks pretty early. How do you do that? And I said, well, with a grain of salt, obviously. Same thing with the AEWs. This could be an entirely different market of cards to what we're used to, right? Base
Yep.
cards out the pack could be worth $1 already. I don't know. I'm just saying that.
Well, yeah, or more, because it
Or more.
depends on, I've listened to other podcasts like that. There's some really good card podcasts out there that talked about the AEW, and some of them actually have like this fantasy booking where they book they book. If you were in charge of product, how would you book this product? How many cards would be in the set? You
Right,
get
what would
X
you
amount
do?
of tag teams, you get X amount of this, you get X amount of signers, and what's your price point in the box? And I thought it was really well done how they did this. And there's a lot of ways this can happen. And it all depends on how they're going to break this stuff down. But if they slap that RC or a rookie type of thing on there, even though we all have a difference of opinions on what can be a rookie and what's not and how we define those things, just putting that name, that logo on there, all of a sudden sets it apart.
Right.
And if they're allowed to put some kind of a rookie notation on their cards, those cards are going to go for mad money. You're looking at.
What if they do like the WCWs and they get everybody to sign? Like everybody, Mark
God, I
Henry.
hope. And for me, I hope not. For me, I hope not.
No,
I really hope not.
how come?
Because I want something to look forward to in series 2 and then series 3.
So they don't blow their wad all in one go.
Because WCW didn't put everybody out in their first series. There's 37 autographs.
But yes, okay, but a series like that would be cool.
That would be awesome. I would love that.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
The way WCW did it, and over the course of those 3 releases, they managed to get everybody or almost everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
I would love that.
There's going to be parallels. There's going to be relics. There's going to be shirts. There's going to be all that kind of jazz.
There's an amazing opportunity here for Upper Deck, or we assume that's the license. There's an amazing opportunity here for them to be innovative and do something different and creative with the wrestling product here, instead of the same old ring mats, T-shirts. Fully Loaded offered a lot of stuff for WWE product that had some really cool relic type stuff. Fleer back in the day did some really amazing things too. So that would be awesome if we had stuff like that.
Yeah. And there's a lot that they can go back at and look. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it just because, like, wow, this is going to be hot. I've, again, crazy the amount, like, people to the site, hey, do you know when the AEW stuff is coming out? It's like, wow, like people ask.
Let's play fantasy here real quick then. Let's assume that it's Upper Deck, and it's going to be a generous type of release. Let's dumb it down and say it's a release on the level of the TNA Pacific.
Which would be small.
Okay. Yeah. In the sense that it has, a base set, 1 level of parallel, a listing of autographs. We can expand on the autographs.
I'll be surprised if there's only 1 level of parallel.
I would be surprised too. Yeah.
I'd be very happy if it was, because then I'd be able to actually chase parallels. But
okay, you know what? Forget it. Let's even say there's like 3 levels of parallel. Okay. Yeah. All right, say 3 levels of parallel. We have,
PCs can go after what?
Let's say 25 autographs are going to be in this set. Okay. What do you expect a price point to be on a box?
You see, now that's where I'm out of my element, because I don't normally buy boxes. I buy sets. So I should turn that around to you. I have no idea what's a box. $100 roughly?
When I listened to shout out to Card Foundation podcast is where I heard them doing their fancy booking,
which was really, the size of the box, right? Because boxes are all over.
Yeah, which was really well done. Their fantasy booking on the box was really well done. It seemed like the 3 guys talked about it, and about average on each one of them was somewhere between $125 and $125 based on their fantasy booking for a box.
And then what would that give you? I guess that'd been how many packs?
It's like, basically like 2 autographs or an autograph and a swatch, just like that per box, right. With different levels of parallels, things like that. So it all depends.
That elusive rare 2016 NXT release was 4 cards, 1 autograph per box at $60 a box.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? Point being is that it's not consistent box to box, release to release what you get. Like, for example, if you would have bought a box of Fully Loaded, you're not getting any base cards in there, right?
No.
So the seating is going to be different in the pack, et cetera, et cetera. That's why, for me, I look at it in terms of, okay, once everything's pulled out, right? Once we broke all the cases and I've got all my base cards, I got all the insert sets, and let's look at these relics. Are they going to be a standard out the gate $10 to $15? Or are they going to be more, just based on the demand for them? Like when we go to eBay, 2-3 weeks in, are you going to be able to buy any sort of advanced card for under $10? These are the questions that I'm curious about. And the answer is probably
I
no.
speculate that the AEW product, for me personally, I believe that right out the gate, one, it's going to be a high box price no matter what at the gate, because pre-sale is going to be ridiculous on it. If you come in late on this and try to buy a box in the secondary market, so you're going to be paying probably double what it was probably originally, or triple what it was when it was first solicited to distributors and dealers.
That
And
goes
I
on now
think
anyways, right? With baseball and
it
football.
happens all the time anyway. So that's why I'm just
Yeah.
kind of speculating with
People
the
line
same
up at the
thing.
Target to get the hobby to put it online to,
Yeah, you can't. So, I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being a $300, $400, $500 box when it comes right out at the gate, because if you come late to the game.
And then how is it seated? Like for me, it's like, will I be able to buy a master set? Not relics or autographs or any of that stuff, just all the inserts and the master set of whatever it is, 100 or 90 or whatever they do.
Sure.
Will that be gettable for under $150 is the question. And that's high, because you used to be able to buy that, 3 years ago, we were paying $60, $75 for a complete Topps master set.
Yeah.
And
it's a different market though now, because since the pandemic and prices went up. I mean, things are coming down now. I see raw card prices coming down a little bit across the board. Your legendary legend stuff, your Hogan stuff, those are still holding value. Even though raw versions of those cards are coming down too. Just 4 or 5 months ago, you could spend $600 on a Hogan card that's now you can get it for like maybe $400, $300.
I was wondering if during the height of all of this, when everybody was going and buying like the 85 tops, the OPCs and the classics and the Fleer 92 Royal Rumbles, all the stuff that could have good picks in it. I was just wondering if, when this all finally settled, if we'd have mined the cards dry, like if we would have bought them all. But it seems like no, that there's stuff turning up all the time. People are always finding old boxes. God knows we're going to be swimming in impel boxes until we die. They're never going to stop.
You would think, right? Because the running joke, as I tell everybody, and Zan talked about it, is that they're still printing that.
Yeah, and as I said to you earlier, it's still the most popular search site on my set.
That's incredible to me, and I want to know why.
Verify that. It's crazy.
I definitely want to know why that's happening, but okay, so we're going to be talking about AEW stuff for a long time, and I'm sure in future episodes we'll be talking as we get closer to a hopeful release. And then the Impact stuff. Let's talk about Impact a little bit. Okay, so we know it looks like it's going to be an in-house set. They announced, it's funny because they announced after we found out there's going to be an AEW stuff, they announced they're coming out, and here they are coming out next week already before AEW cards.
Now, did you notice on that promotional thing that you sent me, there was a picture of Moose, but off to the side, there's a picture of Christian.
I saw that.
Now, Christian's not an Impact guy, is he? Or are all AEW guys Impact guys all of a sudden?
That's a good question.
Right? Where are they on the cross-promoting stuff? If Christian has an Impact card, who else has an Impact card?
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm wondering if that might have been either something that's tied in together, or it's just a graphical error. I don't know.
Remember, Fleer used to do that. Fleer on their sell sheets used to have pictures of cards that never got made.
Oh yeah, I got them right behind me. It's like that. Yeah. And then somebody else had sent me messages too. They had I have to check it out through Twitter. Someone sent me these messages of these mock-ups of art designs of some of all the Fleer stuff, some Fleer stuff like Championship Clash, and it has like little drawings like crossed out. It's like it looks like it's a sheet of mock-up artwork done of things that never got released.
Really, that's cool.
Yeah, like there's like a China card, like a China event use card or something like that was going to be done. And
well, this week an Ultimate Warrior card turned up on Twitter that was slated for one of the WCW releases.
Yeah, I tweeted that too. I posted that.
I saw that too, and I thought, well, that's really cool. That whoever that. So that stuff is there in the vaults of these these companies that make the stuff. Yep. These things that never saw the light of day. It's going to be a big release.
It reminded me of that photo cell, the cell I used to make cards of Warrior. It reminded me years ago, there was a gentleman who offered me up all of the NWO Run-A-Rama stuff. He had all the inventory. He had all the uncut sheets, factory sets, some boxes, some packs, and he even had thousands and thousands and thousands of singles. And they even had the cells that were used to make the cards.
Really?
And he offered to me, and I kicked myself in the ass for never buying it. He offered to me all for like $4,000, like, I don't know, 10 years ago it was like that. And I should have bought it. I should have bought it.
I know you should have, but
should have bought it.
I should have bought Mike Enos 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
That's the
I
way
mean,
my
he had test run sets. He had all that stuff. He was the one that made them available. He's the one that made those stuff publicly available, the sheets and the test run sets. He was the one.
Nice. Right.
And I found him on Facebook and reached out to him about to get on to discuss it. And he's no longer is interested in those things. He's collecting Japanese cards now. But he was a little reluctant to want to be on and talk about, again, someone with a face for radio, he said.
He'd be a good guest for you.
He'd be great. So I'm some of these guys have been a little, trust me, I've reached out to a lot of people to talk about some old school stuff. And most of them are kind of like, I'm not really comfortable being on, on camera kind of thing. I'm like, well, neither am I, dude. But here I am doing it.
It's just like a Zoom call, right? You're just talking to someone.
Yeah, just you and me. The world doesn't see this yet.
So anyways, keeping up with market news, we talked about AEW coming out and Impact.
But before we leave the Impact stuff, I like that it's basically you're buying a pack. According to that, and every pack has an autograph.
Right, you're not buying a box, so you'll buy however many packs you want to buy, and I'll be trying to figure out, okay, how many of these packs do I got to buy to get a set?
Yeah, and I want to know how many of the set, and but I do have something coming up here, hopefully soon, where I can talk to someone who can be giving us all information.
Perfect. Yeah,
so I put the call in for that, and waiting to hear back on it. So
awesome, that'll be good.
We'll see.
What is the slated date for release? It's a couple of weeks, right?
Next week.
Yeah, so the next time you and I get together, we'll be able to go back.
Oh yeah, I think next time we'll be able to talk about it.
How it shook out. So speaking about stuff that's out so far, just because this is a sort of market update.
Yep.
We've been given the top sort of releases for the year. We know we got Chrome coming out next at the end of the month. Then into July, we're going to have Transcendent, the upper end product. There's also slated, now these dates are subject to change, so I'm not going to say dates, but also for the rest of the year, there's NXT, Undisputed, Heritage, Women's Division 2021, which is very interesting because we just received Women's Division 2020 from last year, about 2 weeks ago, and Finest. And Finest wasn't my favorite set because it didn't have a base set, but it was well received by a lot of people.
So, and then on the flip side of that too,
not Finest, Fully Loaded was the one without
Fully Loaded, yes. Finest, but Finest had some printing issues. So Finest, from a grading standpoint, Finest had a lot of surface issues with them. It had some centering issues going on with it. It's just the more and more I've been studying about the grading process of these new ones. Now I have my first batch ever I've ever submitted cards is coming back on Monday. But it's not through PSA because that's still going to be it's still in like research hell. I probably won't get it back until the next presidency. But I submitted modern stuff, 6 modern cards I submitted to HGA.
Oh, with the guys that do the color.
Yes.
Ones.
So I finally got a notification, and it's scheduled to arrive on tomorrow.
We'll post those when they come so we can
and the thing was, I already checked the pop reports on their stuff, and I saw all 6 of my cards because I know they're mine because there's only one of each one that I sent. They're mine, so I already know what my grades are.
And how'd you do?
I did well.
Good.
To me, I'm happy with my grades.
That speaks to more people grading modern stuff. Like a lot of people think, oh, you shouldn't grade. My theory is that unless you're going to sell it, don't grade it unless you like the slabs. But
correct.
You have to look at the economics. Like you can't go to PSA and grade a $10 card. It doesn't make sense.
No, and that's why there are 10 million cards backlog because everybody's putting throwing out common cards.
That's why the grading business, just like everything else, is going to go through a bit of a shifting. Not PSA is going to be seated as the kings or anything, but these secondary graders and stuff, some are going to move up, some are going to move down, and there's going to be a better sense amongst the different communities, not just wrestling, about what one can reasonably expect when they send their card out from a cost point of view, from a time point of view, consistency in the grading, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
And again, I'm not a guy to be talking about grading because I don't do any of it, never have.
Yep.
But
I jumped into it because I have some
as an alternative.
I have some vintage stuff that I sent in that I'm waiting for. Like I'm the one I'm really waiting to come back is from PSA. I sent in 82 Cosmos, Hogan, and Flair. Actually, I sent the whole set in. I had all 6 cards. I sent the whole thing in. But I'm waiting for that to come back. And then for the HGA, I wanted to give it a try and figure it out, price point wise. And I was supposed to have a discussion with the owner. It's like that. We're going to have him on an episode, but scheduling his time is hard.
Post those too, because I want to see how well they match the color of the.
Well, you have when I submitted mine, I didn't have all the variations that they offer now. Now you can do custom labels and all these different kind of things. I didn't have those as options.
They were doing the color coding from the beginning, right?
Yeah, from the beginning, I had different types of color coding, and so I selected different ones. Yeah, I selected different ones to try them out, and then and I didn't do any classic stuff, like I didn't do any tops or classic or action pack, and because those classic, action pack, cards, those weren't options in the drop-down menu for manufacturers. So I didn't know how to submit those. Now it's like, oh, well, you could still submit them. Just cross out the name and then put the name, on a piece of paper. And I'm like, okay, I guess I could get my next one, but I want to see these ones first.
Right.
Because I have some things I still want to send them based on how I like these ones coming out. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But I'm interested tomorrow. I'm hoping to maybe do a video on opening those up and check them out.
Yeah,
So,
and that's going to be another discussion. You guys have talked about it, especially on the When Worlds Collide, about grading and modern product, and
yeah,
makes sense. And maybe not with PSA, but this HDA might open the door to
who knows? At least on the HDA side, these are all pop ones.
Yeah. So there you go. Well, try and get that population up.
Yep, absolutely. So,
last
but
on the stuff that's coming out this year, just so I don't forget, is Slam Attax.
Slam Attax is already out.
Yeah, it came out last week. For those that don't know, here in North America, Slam Attax is put out in the UK. It's a collectible card game. This is their 13th or 14th release. I don't know how many people actually play the game, but the cards are hugely popular. And now they're starting to look like regular releases. They have autograph cards, they have online exclusives, they have relics, all sorts of neat things. There's a Bray, Alexis, double autograph, right?
I like that, from the cast, the Taker match like that. I love that.
Yeah, the Boneyard match, it's called.
Boneyard match. I got to have one. Zan talked about it too. He's like, I got to have one.
Our friends in the UK are on top of that, and there's no actual checklist for us yet, Tony. So that's something we might not be able to provide right away, but
I have enough work.
yeah, well, those are 356 cards, so
Yeah.
But that's out so that people know. All right, the next thing I want to talk to you about is something that we've been talking about loosely.
Well, hold on a second. I want to go back to the releases. Of the releases that are coming out, you named, are there any that you particular are looking forward to the most?
Well, I'm going to try and get them all, right?
Well, of course, but is there anyone that kind of like really makes you?
Well, let's talk about Transcendent, because I haven't bought any Transcendent yet because I haven't been able to afford it. So is this the year that I get a Vince Auto? Is this the year that I actually pony up and get a base set? Maybe.
What are base sets going for price wise?
On the Transcendence, about 1,500 roughly.
For a base set?
For a base set of 50 cards, I believe it is. And they're not even...
They're numbered to 50, right?
Yes, I think so. But they're not even goats or legends. They're like weird names, like they're not your A list of people. In like last year, they had a John Cena base set, which was a little less money than the regular base set. And I've made a couple of offers on both, and I just didn't get them. And the only one really of the autos is Vince, because I don't have a Vince auto, although I'd happily buy a Taker or Stephanie or something like that if right. Chrome, I liked what Chrome looked like last year, so I'm excited about that. NXT again, so long as it's a manageable release, it's not one of these 4 cards and an autograph, which I doubt it'll be. We talked about Heritage before. They're going back to the old baseball design.
That's the one I already put an order in for a case.
Yeah, that's going to be a sharp looking card, I think. And then Women's Division 2021, it's not likely they're going to differentiate between this and the Women's Division that just passed. And here we are, Tony, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus the one that just came out 7. So we're talking 8 releases by Topps again on the year. And now we're starting to get into that, okay, slow down, Topps.
Yeah.
It was nice during the pandemic when, we're cut, but a half a dozen to me is the right number.
6, every other month would be great.
For me, but hey, if the market's there and they're selling cards,
sure,
cranking them out till the cows come home, right?
They're literally printing money.
They are, and how about you? Is there anyone you mentioned? Heritage.
100% Heritage is what I'm looking for. I like Chrome as well. I'll probably get some of that. Might even get a box of Undisputed, maybe. But Heritage 100%. I've already placed an order for a case, with my guy. I mean, the solicitation hasn't even gone out for that yet, but I'm definitely getting a case of that. It's my first case of wrestling cards since 2004.
What if the nuclear attack that is AEW happens in the middle of all of this?
I'm still getting that too. Getting a case of that minimum too.
I was wondering about that. If the AEW is going to be so popular that they're actually that Topps releases are actually going to feel it. They're going to feel competition.
You might be right. I think you're right. I know
you said to me before, from Topps perspective, the value of the cards doesn't matter to them. Once they print them, they've sold them, mission accomplished. So it doesn't really matter to them who else is in the market, I suppose.
Correct.
But we're the ones, I and are the people in our hobby that are looking at this and wondering to ourselves, what's the real impact going to be? The impact of
True.
Especially with so many top sets. I've said it before. In 2019, I wasn't happy with all the releases that came out. You'll know because you're
Yeah,
going to be updating.
yeah. Not looking forward to that.
Between all the tops and the indie stuff, it's just ridiculous. Like, again, I love this hobby. I've been doing this for many, many years, but it gets to be a bit much. You know what I mean? Like, because not only am I buying the stuff, collecting about stuff, I'm running a site like you are,
Mm.
to try and keep on top of this stuff. And then to talk about it, it's like, eventually enough is enough.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that what we've said are the upcoming top releases takes care of us for the calendar year, and there's nothing more than that. But who
God, I
knows?
hope so too. As a matter of fact, I'd be okay if they just, pushed a couple sets off to next year.
Well, that's the thing. Like, we didn't get the 2020 women's division until a couple of weeks ago, right?
Sure.
And even the Chrome was slated for much earlier this year, and it's been pushed back. So,
Yeah.
and don't forget, they didn't do a road to WrestleMania for the first time this year in however
Which
many
is
years.
fine.
Yeah, well, absolutely fine.
Which is
Not like
fine.
we're hurting for tops wrestling cards, right?
Well, and that line itself, Road to WrestleMania itself was like,
It's fine.
release anyway. So,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, I wouldn't mind if they had like if you want a card set that's devoted to WrestleMania, I'd rather see that as a subset in another existing set.
Yeah, like they've done before many
Yeah,
times.
exactly. Yeah.
Clear did that, So in addition,
So for me, it's heritage. I'm looking forward to heritage. I like the design. I think it looks like a fun set for me. And then I've got, I think Zan's going in on it with me as well. So we're going to probably end up doing maybe some box breaks on maybe Instagram or something like that. But nothing I'm going to get out of that, I'm going to be keeping for myself, unless it's a Kurt Angle card. There's nothing I'm going to be keeping. So, if you need something like you need a base sets like that, hit me up. I'll be happy to take care of you. And
sure.
but
Sure. I normally, the way I work is I have a few sort of bigger dealers that know who I am. I've dealt with them for years and years and years and years. I normally send the word out, hey guys, have you bought this product? And the guys have let me know. And then it's just waiting to see how the seeding goes. Sometimes I get an email within their first day of breaking. Yeah, no, Paul, I'll have a master. No problem, Paul, I'll have a master for you.
Okay.
And generally the pricing on that stuff, we have a pretty good idea, but we noticed when things shifted last year with the pandemic that all of a sudden, which release was it that it was really difficult to put a set together on from last year? I can't remember, but it was like $80 just for a base set. And don't forget, we're used to paying $10 to $15. It might have been, I can't remember which one, but definitely I want to see if that trend holds of the base sets being worth a lot more, because we go back in history to the old WCW sets, $15, $20 sets, right? So why am I paying $50 for a top set today? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's something that will get worked out in the wash, I suppose. But in addition to all the tops, in addition to AEW, in addition to Impact, well, Impact, it counts under this umbrella.
Sure.
We have all the indie releases. GCW is getting really prolific with their sets.
Who?
We know that the podcast guy, the Major Wrestling Podcast guy, their card set, Kadorno's Bunch, and it sold out within a couple hours. We know Kevin Gus did his art cards, his first set, although there was only a few, sold out within minutes.
Yep.
So
I mean, these bad boys.
Yeah, and if you don't have these folks, these are I haven't got mine yet up here in Canada. I was the last one.
So for my reveals, I got my base set, and then I guess you get 2 random variants or something like that. So luckily, I got a Kurt Angle one. I got number 4 of 6.
Perfect for you.
And then I actually got this 1 of 1 Savage.
Nice.
So I'm happy to trade it for a Kurt Angle 1 of 1. You know who you are out there.
Well, maybe it's on its way to me. Maybe it's in the mail coming to me.
No, the 1 of 1's already out there.
Oh, it's been found already. Okay.
Yeah, I commented on it. It's like that, and the guy sent me a message back saying, maybe we can work something out. I'm like, okay, well, all I really had to trade for you is a 1 of 1 Savage that I'd be happy to trade for it.
Well, wait, let's see. Well, let's just see which one I get, because maybe I can enter that into the mix for you if need be.
There you go. See.
Yeah. So that set, we know that Ignite has just put out another set. So a lot of these indie feds are going to continue cranking out these cards. Game Changer Wrestling, the deathmatch guys, they've been putting out quite a few. Like Chuck and I were talking the other day, I think there's 8 of those that have been released already.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to continue to be popular as well. Someone posted the NWA Power, the animated ones, and said, "Are these a good buy?" And we're like, "Hell yeah!" Because they were limited number. There was
260 sets, I think.
Not even, I don't think. I think it was like 150.
Oh, is it less than that? Okay.
But then again, you've been looking at this stuff more recently than me, so you're probably right.
I'm thinking it was 260, but you could be right.
Yeah. Anyways, point being is that these are done in limited releases, and if you go back and I pull some of the indie stuff I bought over the years, I'm very happy that I did, like the IPW set. If you happen to have bought any of the Bola sets, like those Bola sets now, the 3 of them, they're about 100 to 150 per set.
Yeah, yeah, they're going for
So,
crazy money.
yeah. So, and the other thing to remember is that you're waiting for that first card of the next big guy, the next Orange Cassidy, the next whoever it might be that's going to redefine the industry. That's where it's in these small independent releases where these cards are going to turn up. Like in my MMW cards, there's a what's his name, Tyler Seth Rollins, his first card. In the IPW set, Chuck noticed, hey, there's a Kenny Omega card I didn't even realize was in there. In the Chikara cards that I just picked up, there's Eddie Kingston,
Brody Lee.
Brody Lee, there's Claudio whatever Cesaro, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And this stuff has got all value. Like,
Yep.
you know what people are paying for the Edge and Christian Japanese cards now?
Yep.
So first appearance or rookie cards in indie cards, even though they might be not widely released. Look, the 82, 83 All-Stars could have been considered an indie set back in the day, right?
Yep.
Because it wasn't widely released. So add that to the mix of overall wrestling product that we're going to get.
Yeah, by the way, that NWO set is a 260 cards set print run.
I sit corrected.
Yeah, you got you have Thunder Rosa in that one.
I mean, there's a bunch.
There's a good.
It was the first actual NWA release in some time since Wonderama, right?
Since '88.
Yeah, exactly.
Some good stuff there.
Tons of stuff, guys, to collect from Tops, from Upper Deck, presumably, and from some of these people direct. Spend wisely, don't
collect what you love, man. Just collect what you love.
Yeah.
If you're a speculator, it's like that, looking for investments like that, then you really have your homework cut out for you. But if you're just doing it for fun, just collect what you love.
Exactly.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Next topic. This is going to be one that I don't want to stir anything up.
Oh, I think you want to.
No, I don't want to. It's like Zan says. I'm just posing the question.
As to
as to what is the definition of a card? Not a trading card like you and I have discussed, but a card, So what's the definition of a card? Well, I'll tell you, according to Webster's and Merriam. A card, also known as cardboard, is a piece of thick, stiff paper on thin pasteboard, in particular one used for writing or printing on. Card.
Gotcha.
Now, many moons ago, it was decided that magazines, if they had 9-up pictures and they kind of resembled the shape of a card, and it said on the front of the magazine, collect these cards, that we would consider the paper cuts cards. And I resisted for the longest time, but the next thing you know, these things are being slabbed and being graded and then being put for sale. And then my audience is saying, hey, Paul, what about these things? So I bit the bullet and I said, okay, paper cards are cards, fair enough. Now, a couple of weeks ago, Ken Golden declared that stickers are cards.
Yeah.
Now, who am I to question Ken Golden? Right? But
he's just a man, Paul. He's just a man. We can all question him.
But specifically on the Rock rookie, I was very happy to see on the PSA grade that it said Rock sticker. But a lot of people are referring it to as the Rock's rookie card, and it was correctly pointed out to me by Rob that in actual fact resembles a card, and it's an adhesive that you put on the back for it to stick onto the album. So it's not a peel and stick kind of thing. But I'm just asking the question. Now, from my perspective, I don't collect stickers, and there's a sharp divide between cards and stickers. And I'm about to start putting stickers on my price guide as I did for paper because I lost that battle. And I fear I might lose the sticker battle. So my reason why I mentioned this is to get your opinion. Now, this isn't on trading, because in my opinion, if I pay money for something, if I pay money for a Valentine's card, it's a trading card. If I pay money for a phone card on eBay, I don't have anything to trade with but my dollars, but that's a trade, right? So all of it is a trading card if you have something that I want. But is a sticker a card? Is paper a card? And it's like, what is a rookie? So let me throw that back to you. Do you agree with Mr. Golden's assertion that stickers are cards?
I agree with what the market dictates.
Okay. Now, what is the market?
I have been in that same boat as you, where I have resisted acknowledging paper as cards, but I was listing that stuff long before you were deciding to put it on your site too. Yes, just because it said, like you said in the front of the magazine, collect all the trading cards, cut and trade, whatever.
I was aware when I first published the online guide that they should have been there, but I didn't do it until like last year.
Yeah, I've been putting it up there forever.
Like Cartman would say, "Ski guys,
yeah.
I'm not getting sucked into this. These aren't cards." But it just kept coming back at me from everybody, and I'm like, well,
That's what has happened to me. So I
I'm not
I
that
was
hard.
resistant to
Some dude
even
like
put
everybody else.
I was resistant to even go and put collectible card games up there because it wasn't a trading card. It was a CCG TCG, which of course TCG stands for trading card game. So
And people trade them.
and people trade them. So, you know,
Right.
and you're talking to a guy who specializes in the WWE Raw Deal games like that, but
Of
I never
course.
really. And so I included it on the website for a long, long time. Uh, my partner David does not care for that stuff. He doesn't track it. That's my responsibility. We have, you know, action figure cards. You can cut them out and put them on, you know, and make them their cards. We have stickers. I've had stickers on the site forever too. I have no problem adding any of that from an informational standpoint. Like we can argue all we want about what the
Yeah, and it's
definition of
not so
one
much to
is.
start an argument, but just to address, like, for example, on these magazines that have 9-ups, right? Because they're meant to be taken out and perforated or cut or whatever
Sure,
card size, you know, you can make that argument. But some of these Japanese ones that we've cut out, they're all akimbo on the page. They're not lined up. There's one this way, there's one that way, and
sure.
people have cut them out, you know, and said, here it is, card, and it's just a piece of paper. Well, a buddy of mine has a million wrestling magazines. I could go back and I can find a card shaped thing of Bruno or
Sure.
whoever. And one second, let me see here.
It would depend on what's on the back of it too, though.
I'm looking for something. No,
Please excuse our interruption here, folks.
yeah. So I have a few loose pieces of those paper that, not that they don't mean anything to me, because I wouldn't sort of disrespect ones of Bruno San Martino, but
Sure.
it's not anything to me in my book, right? Now, the other day I saw an auction for the complete set of these things, and it was like $10,000 or something like that. I'm like, well, collectors have embraced them,
Yep.
the paper end of it, and it seems like stickers now are going to be considered cards.
Well, everything is collectible. First off,
Yeah.
everything is collectible. And you're going to have certain group of people who are going
So the
to
trading aspect of it you can't question, because
yes,
people
but
trade this.
you're going to have a certain group of people who consistently like to go ahead, and if they have an investment in something like this, they're going
Right.
to want to shove it down the collectible market's throat that this is worth something, and it's
Sure.
worth something, and it's worth something, and it's worth something. Look at me, it's worth something, and that's
Yeah,
just kind of how it really starts.
sure.
And I get that. I understand. You want to protect your investment or create some sort of value to your investment, anyways. I'm from my website for WTC. I have no issues whatsoever of adding these things on as a checklist of site. I've had resistance to putting Valentine's Day cards. I don't, me personally, my personal opinion is they're not trading cards. Don't care. They're not trading cards. That's my opinion. But if people are saying they want to collect them and somebody wants to supply me the information for it with the official checklist, I'll be happy to add them to the website. So if it serves a greater purpose of letting people know what's available to collect in a
Right.
trading card type of environment, by all means. But then
Right.
we have to figure out, where does it stop? Do we add
But
coins? Do we add
like, for example,
coins?
you know those WCW, the unofficial WCWs that came out last year?
Sure.
They're great. There's a beautiful set, limited edition, but they're actually hard plastic, like a
Okay.
phone card kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
They're not actually corrugate paper, right? But it's a card, it's traded,
Sure.
right? My drop off point is a sticker is a sticker, you know, peel, stick, right?
Yep.
Sticker. But Golden says stickers are cards. Well, if A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C. So now, you know, am I going to go back and try and figure out all the sticker sets out there? No, because there
No.
are actually people that just do stickers.
And I'm looking forward to those people. If there's people out there who listen to this and are sticker collectors, by all means, send us the email with all the
Yeah.
information for a checklist, and I'll be happy to archive that for you
I
for
did
other.
I did do the Valentine's Day stuff. I called it novelty cards.
Sure.
Stuff like phone cards, Valentine's, stuff that you see out there, and you might be wondering, what is this? And it's not a regular Topps release, but at least we can say, oh, it's this. It came from this manufacturer. Anyway,
Now, do I need to go like David?
Eventually, you know, paper is cards, stickers is cards. Eventually, Cadorna is going to say figures are cards. You know, like, where's it going to end?
Yeah. David had has been so resistant against, a lot of these different, categories of cards kind of thing. And I get it. I totally, we agree on some things, we disagree on other things, which is fine. One of the things that I did with the site when it launched, it should be any minute now, I hope, is that there's no categories anymore now. I didn't separate Japanese from stickers, from CCG, from action figure. I didn't do that. It's just all under the years. I looked at the Beckett, I looked at your site. Nobody else has these things separated out. It's just listed by year, and you will figure out, look at what you want.
Yeah.
Now I can search my site, because our sites are different in the sense that your price guide stuff is all off on a spreadsheet, on like a Google Drive or something like that, whatever it is.
Yeah,
so if I were to do a search on your site and look for like, John Cena, I can't pull up all the John Cena cards. On my site, you can.
Right.
So if I wanted to go and do a John Cena search, it'll pull up everything that John Cena has mentioned in a set, so whether it be a sticker, a Valentine's Day, a card game, doesn't matter what it is, it'll be on there and you can know. So as long as there's somebody out there who is a CCG, a Slam Attax, expert, send us the information. I'll be happy to archive it. If you're a sticker collector, if you're a Valentine's Day card collector, as long as it's something in the realm of a trading card area, I'm not going to, I don't know where we draw the line. Do I do the collectible coins? Do I do?
I would say that stickers are in the realm of trading cards. No problem with that.
Sure. I would consider them in the realm of trading cards as well too.
But in my opinion, they're not cards.
Yeah, that's why they're called stickers.
Next. Here's one for everyone out there. Is the WWE for sale? I've been hearing a lot of rumors all of a sudden with them cleaning house.
Same here.
And reading a lot of crap online that
as a multiple shareholder myself in the company, I like to know.
Yeah. Well, there's been talk about NBC Universal since the deal they did with Peacock. We know that Vince is a rich man, but Sharif Khan is.
But people, I don't think, if I'm not mistaken, the sale of the network was a temporary sale for 5 years, not permanent.
I don't know the specifics.
I think it's a 5-year sale.
My thoughts on that is that I highly doubt that Vince is going to sell the WWE. And I remember.
What are your reasons why?
I remember that years ago, when he was interviewed, and it came out recently that when Vince has to call it a day, he's not the kind of guy that can be replaced because you need 5 guys to do what he does.
Yeah.
But I remember him saying that what he told his kids, which I think would include Triple H, was that all he wants to do is provide opportunity for them. And he's the kind of guy, I think, that would rather see them make their way than to just drop a bag of money on them. I think he's been that kind of guy. And I think that's what he's instilled in Stephanie and Shane. And Triple H isn't a sit around kind of guy.
Yeah, but don't you think that any type of sale would include some sort of, listen, you're buying the company, but part of that company is you have to take these people to help run that company because this is what,
Again, there's so many
different variables in there.
I just wanted to throw out there that, hey, there's a rumor out there that it might be for sale. And I think that's just what it is. I would be very surprised. People are talking about what the product has been like lately and comparing it to you and
you're cutting costs with getting rid of big time contracts like Braun Strowman, like that, everything, trying to.
Interesting thing. Like I read that AEW has a $45 million TV deal. Now, the fact that they're at Daly's place every week and they're not having to go on the road, as Vince hasn't gone on the road, that has kept his costs lower. So whilst they don't have the same top line, their bottom line is somewhat.
They're still as a shareholder, I get to see these kind of things where I can log into my account.
But is AEW profitable? I would say yes, because
I'd say yes too.
Because he's got $45 million coming in. He doesn't have that yet in a performance payroll yet. So eventually, maybe as they spread out. But I think that what Vince saves not going on the road, the gate that he misses is saved by the money that he's bringing, not having to spend. So
sure.
It's going to be interesting to see where that goes. But I would be very surprised after so many years if all of a sudden Vince decides to sell.
I hope somebody can correct me if I'm wrong again. It's like that in the comments on this video. It'd be I think that NBC deal is like that from Peacock was a 5-year, $1 billion deal. I think.
Well, that would certainly get the chatter started, right? Because NBC Universal would be one of those companies that could afford to buy WWE.
Sure.
As could Mr. Khan.
Sure. And vice versa.
As I said earlier, Vince McMahon is a rich man, but Sharif Khan is a very rich man.
Yeah.
There's a notable difference in their net worth. So it's, and that's the thing with AEW. Like, they have the funding to go even deeper into wrestler contracts if they wanted to. You know what I mean?
Well,
They
very reminiscent to the 90s WCW.
Yeah, they can afford to invest in their business if they want to do something. I don't think cash is going to be an issue for them.
No. Again, this is WCW Ted Turner 2.0.
Exactly. And they're going to make so much money on the wrestling cards that alone is going to keep them.
That's going to keep them afloat forever. Just put out an annual set every year. We're going to put one autograph in every set. So I guess you have to come back for the next 45 years to collect them all.
So you got anything else for us, Tony?
No. I think the market is still hot as can be. It's I think price levels are kind of a little bit teetering down. You would know more than I would, like that, but I think things are kind of coming down and things are still kind of going up. I mean, it's a crazy market.
We're still in the middle of something. Hey, would you mind if I give a quick shout out before we?
Absolutely. Give all the shout outs you want.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to a dude by the name of Hal Haney. And Hal Haney, for those who don't know, is a wrestling artist, and he's on Twitter and he's online, and he does some fantastic wrestling art. And here's my story with Hal. I bought myself a Hulk Hogan rug that I'm sitting on top of right now from out east some months ago. And it came and I laid it out. I'm like, this looks beautiful. I love it. And I took a picture, I put it on Twitter, and Hal said, very nice, but this is my artwork. And I just went from here to here. I'm like, oh my God, this guy ripped this guy off, right? So I felt so bad that I had this rug that was a contraband rug, right? And then on Twitter, it came out that, oh, look, here's a beach towel that someone else has done. And Hal was like, that, not my product either, So what these guys are doing is they're taking his artwork, taking off his watermark, and manufacturing in the East this product. Because I remember it was very easy to get a hold of, PayPal, and no problem. So I felt so bad that I reached out to Hal and I said, listen, man, I don't feel right about this, and I wanted to work something out with him because I have to look at this thing every day and I like it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to feel bad about it. But God bless Hal Haney. He said, well, you know what, dude, enjoy your rug. And I thought that was the greatest thing. He completely gave me authority that, you know what, I don't want anything from you. And I was quite prepared to do that. I thought some
what kind of artwork does he do? Like, does he do canvases or
well, this is all, hang on, I don't know if this is going to work. Can you see that?
Yeah. Oh, I've seen his work.
Yeah, this is the rug. I don't know if it's turning out, but
yeah, I see it.
How great this is.
Didn't he just do one of Stone Cold? 50 Shades of Stone Cold?
He's the one of Savage.
Yeah.
And to Hal Haney, I just want to say thanks again, brother. That was so cool of you. I had no idea, obviously, that I was buying something where someone had ripped you off, but I am so appreciative that you.
So, what kinds of things can a collector buy from Hal?
I think he does prints. So if you go to at Hal Haney, HANEY art, you'll see some of his prints. And I'm definitely going, someone suggested to me, well, to make the situation right, you should donate some money to a small indie fed or something. And I thought to myself, no, at Christmas time, Hal's going to get some business from me. But the funniest part of the story is it doesn't end with that. It doesn't end with Hal saying, no problem, brother, enjoy your rug. Last week we had the pay-per-view. And my buddy comes over. I says, wait till you see what I got for you upstairs. I bring him upstairs and he sees it. He goes, oh, you got a Hal Haney. How am I the only guy that's never heard of him? And he knew right away. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So thanks to Hal. And you know what? Since we're doing shout outs, just again, Anthony Havlovic, Husker Have. We haven't got him on any of these podcasts yet, and he hasn't been sort of the community, but just so everybody knows that he's out there, and he, like you, is redoing his site soon. Yep. Husker Have's wrestling cards. He's been there. He's been the stalwart for all of us throughout. If you need one of this or one of that, and here's something from China and Russia. And again, I know the timing hasn't worked out for him.
Yeah.
So you next.
Right. We're going to do it. It's just when he's available.
I'm sure he will, but just so that he isn't forgotten in all these talks of all of us. Shout out to Husker Have, who's still the man in this business. Yeah. And to you, sir.
Absolutely.
Thanks as always for having me on. And I guess next time that we get together, your site will be up. So I'll have that's going to be exciting. We'll have the Impact release. We'll have that to talk about, and probably maybe you'll wear your T-shirt next time. Maybe you wear your T-shirt next time. Well, I didn't want to wear mine because I thought you'd be wearing yours. We can wear them together. We're a team, man. We're a team. I'm wearing the Sammy charity T-shirt. I'm wearing what I always wear, which is Cheap Trick. But I have it. I got it right here, man. I got it right here. Awesome. There'll be more. There'll be more coming. That's all I'm going to say. Those pads. Yep. You never know. So coffee mugs, condoms. Telling you,
It'd be great. Okay. Well, I appreciate your time, man. I know it's, you know, we got the time difference here. So I got 3 o'clock there.
No, I'm in the afternoon. Perfect today.
That's good. All right.
All right, brother.
I got a bunch of screaming kids in the other room now, so it's a good time to go.
All right. Good luck with the site. We'll speak to you soon.
You got it, man.